It's round three, and welcome back to the DC Hawks pre-match show. I'm Roshni Jasmala, and let me have our experts join in without any further delay. The first guest is Mr. Shoaib Ahmed, who is a former president of the WCL and a well-known figure in the USA cricket circuit. And the second guest is someone who's very much involved in the cricket fraternity in the WCL, Mr. Mohammed Saqib Shaban, who is also known as the Kaptan, both of them representing the Titans Cricket Club. I want to welcome you both onto our DC Hawks pre-match show. So, the first question I'll ask Shoaib to start off with, how are you enjoying this minor league cricket action?
It's been fun. I mean, I've been watching them on and off, and but I'm keeping uh, uh, track of the scorecards and performances, especially DC Hawks because that's our local team. So, I mean, I'm in loop. So, I mean, whenever I get time, I watch all the highlights and stuff. So, yeah, it's been a fun ride. It's been so far so good. Really like the competition. The level of cricket is pretty high. So having fun watching good cricket in US.
Yep. And Saqib, if you want to add in.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's something new. We got it after so long, especially the all the matches going live. But can't follow all the games for other teams. But obviously, I'm been following DC Hawks very closely. And if I can, I mean, if it's going on the work timing, I always watch the highlights and just to. I mean, it's been interesting. So far so good.
Yeah, and I think it's like the first time, where a full tournament, every single match, is live, and you can also go back and, as you mentioned, watch the highlights, watch the full match even, and keep up with the scorecards. I think it really gives that type of competition that everyone really wants, because I know even teams are watching, other teams perform, just so they can figure out, what they can do when they play against them and really get to see and analyze other things. So now let's go into the games from the past weekend that we had. So DC Hawks on Saturday, played the Philadelphians at Exton. So this was the first win, of the weekend, and their second win overall. So the Philadelphians batted first, and they put up that total of 146. So we saw, especially with the bowling, Sarabji Ladda, we knew from the first weekend, when he took 8 wickets, he kind of went back. He was still, that performer for the DC Hawks when it comes to bowling. Now, the one addition that we had, we didn't have the first weekend was Waleed. So especially with him taking the 2 wickets, that was really important. And, we saw his fielding, brilliant fielding in both the innings as well. So I think that, that addition really helped with the bowling performance. And then Adil Bhatti as well, giving a really him bowling that made an over in the last over as well. So I think with the bowling that really was something we needed, especially that second game that we lost in the round one. And when it comes to batting, we see our top order, especially with Sunny and Ravi. Those are the ones who have been scoring most of the runs. So we'll get into the downsides of that, but it's great to see them step up in this game. And then Franklin Clement also putting in that cameo. So I wanted both of you guys to add in, to this game, anything that you wanted to add in. So we'll start with Saqib.
I mean, well, that was good. They won their game, and obviously, I always rated Walid Karimullah in my higher level when he bowled. I was watching him live when he was bowling, the way he was doing all the in swinging and obviously the catch. So these young lads, they chipping in the fielding, in the bowling department. But my one concern is basically so far, if you see the last 2 games, or even though they won this game, Sunny Swal and Ravinder is the most crucial part of their partnership. I mean, basically, they are the one who's been scoring. Down the order, Adil Bhatti did score in 1 game and Dane did once, but their consistency of middle order and the lower order is not there yet. Because saying that, they're putting too much pressure, I guess. I mean, they are experienced player, no doubt, but still putting too much pressure on their openers by scoring most of the runs. So I would say the middle order and lower tail order needs to step up their game, basically.
Yeah, and I want to add in this game we also had Ishan and Chris, join in. So Ishan had a good, connect with Sunny when they had their partnership. Obviously Adil was brought down, but if we notice, we had a couple runouts. Chris got run out. Adil also got run out. So I think that is also something that the team really needs to make sure of their communications, because I think runouts are the worst way to get out. I think if Adil was in good touch, if he hadn't gotten run out, I think we would have seen a good score from him as well. But I think, that is something that the team definitely cannot afford at all. Especially when they're batting, getting a run out like that, then it puts even more pressure. I mean, the middle order already has some pressure that we've seen. They haven't been able to really click on. But obviously those run outs, especially, in the power play and in the beginning of the game, doesn't really help. And Shoaib, if you want to add anything about this game.
Sure. I mean, I'll add, I'll just piggyback to what Saqib said. Basically, if you look at the scorecard on this one, and so far we have played 4 games. We are 2-2. So if you look at our record, the 2 games that we have won, there's a common theme here. You notice Sunny and Ravi in there is a major contributor. So I think it seems like if these 2 go as the team goes. So yeah. I think Saqib is right. I mean, you can just, in T20 format, you have to be at least your top 4 or 5 should be performing on a consistently basis. But yes, it was a good performance by them, by the team. They won the game. But I think Sunny and Ravi in there, I think being the veterans of this side, played at one of the highest level in India and also in US. So I think they should anchor those innings and let the inning evolve around their performance. So it was a good performance. Walid bowled good. I mean, he's taken up 2 wickets in that game. And as far as the bowling is concerned, I think Sarabjit is somebody who's been consistently performing in T20 in this tournament so far. So it was a good performance overall by the team. I mean, can't complain when you get a W. So a dub is the main thing.
Yeah. And I know, the top moment for both of you was definitely that catch. So we're just going to quickly run through that.
Yeah, that was a beautiful catch.
Yeah, I think, just the way, that fielding effort and, getting there was in keeping, actually, keeping that ball in his hands, was brilliant effort. And that really, I think, helped, get that momentum going, obviously, on the field. Second moment, we keep speaking about Ravinder's batting. And I think it's just because of the class bowling, the shots that he hits, and especially this shot that we're about to watch. And this was the shot that he hit against the Philadelphians, against Jeremy Gordon. So, playing that shot, especially, over square leg in a 6 like that, was absolutely brilliant from him. Now, the second game, So the second game, we knew was going to definitely be a tough one from the start. And Somerset Cavaliers, they have a really, top batting order in terms of, in terms of runs, like their first 5, 6, are really in terms of that batting power that they had. You knew that DC Hawks, definitely were going to have a slight struggle. And unfortunately they did, especially because Adil Bhatti got injured during that first inning. So he didn't come out to bat at all. So that put them, aback a bit. And then, Ravinder coming in and giving, his performance as well. But obviously we lost Sunny in the first ball of the innings. So, when the Somerset Cavaliers batted, they put 204. So you knew, at that moment that it was going to be a challenge, but obviously the boys, needed to stay motivated because it's definitely not impossible with, the team that we have. And with the bowling performance, Ravinder getting his wickets, right, in just 2 overs. So that really helped, put them, back because the total could have gone a lot higher. Walid again taking those 2 wickets, and then Ravi Teja finally coming into the attack, to help with that. And then with the batting performances, we can see again Ravinder and then Franklin Clemens, putting in a cameo, but obviously not, as much as they needed. And after that, it was only Ritwik who scored 9. So that just shows, in terms of the batting, the middle order, they really weren't able to put up anything. And, 89 after like in the 14th over, there was no one else there. So the Cavaliers won by 115 runs. So obviously this was something that maybe the DC Hawks needed to really realize that, okay, we really need to focus on what we need to do, especially for this coming weekend. So if you guys want to add on, Shoaib.
Yeah, I mean, uh, I'll be very honest. I watched that game, and that's one of the games I watched completely. And I was surprised actually to see the game plan. I'll be very honest that I was very puzzled by the way. Here's the thing. This is the way I look at this game. When it comes to bowling, of course, nothing taking away from Cavaliers. They're one of the better teams in the competition. So they scored 204 runs. And they've been scoring 200 runs close to it every game. So when you have a team, high power team coming in, there has to be a game plan in place. And when you have, that your pace is not one of your strengths. I think it needs to evolve around what you do the best. And I think the team has better spinning talent than we have a pace talent. I don't know why Abdul Jabbar was introduced like in 13th or 14th over when he's a left arm spinner. And especially early on when the Pacers have given you 2 wickets, the lead took 2 wickets, and they brought them back in the first 6 overs. They were somewhere around like 40, 45 runs. And at that time, they had 2 down, and they have new batsmen. Nothing taking away from Xavier and Weatherford, and those guys are excellent batters. But I think the pressure should have been put on at that time, and the left arm spin should have been introduced. I don't know why the team waited to introduce Abdul Jabbar so late. Now that's one thing, but the other thing is I actually rate Ravi Inder as a very high class spinner, and that game proved it that he bowled brilliantly. So he needs to be involved more in bowling. He should not be treated as just as a very part-time spinner who can come and just bowl 1 or 2 overs for you. I think him and Ladda and Abdul Jabbar should be your focus point in your bowling. As far as batting is concerned, again, it shows when Ravi and Sunny, they give you a good start, we go as a team. But as Saqib mentioned, the middle order is not. I mean, they need to work on a proper playing players where they suit well. I know, unfortunately, Adil got hurt. So those were the things. I mean, it messed up your batting order and your team chemistry. But I think that is more something for coaches to ponder upon that, hey, what do we do best, where we use our best players. And if you notice the games that we have won, like I mentioned before, is where when the batters, especially your veterans player, your leadership player, leader, Sunny and Ravi, when they go, team goes. So I think this is very important. The team has to think about it and plan accordingly.
Yep, absolutely. And Saqib, if you want to add on.
Yeah, I do want to add on that one. It's not because we lost that game. So I'm going on. I'm a critic guy. I always pass my critics. And when I'm watching the game closely and saying that, I know team have a loss before the start of the season as a Gaurav Bajaj of the field, and now they lost Adil Bhatti as their best all-rounder. But as far as the managing side, I mean, so far we won 2 games. That's fine. I mean, that's understandable. But as far as the managing side in the ground, I really don't see that. Like the role, I don't see the player has their role being defined. Rajit Bhai knows all these players because most of them are local. Like they've been playing together for like 10 years or 15 years. So every single person, they know their ability and who is best at what department and what position. So if you're chasing 204 run, I don't know, why were we so defensive going up with the approach? Like why couldn't we take a chance of sending someone up the order as a hard hitter instead of keeping the same batting lineup? Clement, if you see all the scorecards so far, you will see 3 names: Clement, Ravinder, Sunny Swal. So why you keeping the Clement? I mean, I've been playing with Clement so long, and Rajit Bhai knows him too. He can be a good hard hitter. So why can't you take a chance of sending him up there? I mean, maybe he will click, maybe not. But it's a 2020. You always take a chance. You take a chance. Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And as far as the bowling side, I mean, Walid Karimullah been performing nice, no problem with that one. Whenever the big game comes in, Roshni, I always say it's a clash of nerves. So whenever the clash of nerves comes in, it's all about experience. So by saying that, I mean, whoever has the experience, like just say Ravi, Sunny Soal, they are experienced. They've been playing all over the country, all over the world. So the experience, you cannot match them because the experience they have they can perform in the game. But saying that, I mean, on the other side, just say Ravi Teja and other players, they do. I mean, they are really good player in the league and everywhere. But one thing is there, like they don't have experience of playing on the other fields and other grounds, which management has to define the role. I mean, and this Somerset Cavalier, 2 players scored the game and they took the game away from them, in which it was a Xavier and the Rutherford. I mean,
and Rutherford,
if I would be there, I would have targeted those 2 players with my best experienced ballers, and you get them wicked. That's the backbone of their team. They're done with that. So they have to think about their managing side, whoever the coach is, management. If you're not gonna define the role of each and every player, I mean, you have a good team combination. Players are working hard, but what I see the lack of defining the role in the ground of every single player.
Yeah, and I think, hopefully, I think especially with this, having the 4 games, they'll definitely be there. I think for this game, that approach was definitely, I know the under 19 players were both sent in early, right? Ishan opened with Sunny, and Ritvik also came in after. And I think it was just to get them because right now they've been the ones who actually have been traveling the most compared to any of the other players recently because of the under 19 camps and tours. So they have a wide range of experience. Obviously, they're still young, and especially when you have the Somerset Cavaliers, going against you. But yeah, hopefully, this weekend things will definitely, click, and hopefully with that, as you mentioned, with the management and everything will be looked at. So, when it came to the top moment, so both of you in this action, right? So one was Walid's bowling. And then that catch that Ritvik took, right? Ritvik being our under 19 and also taking a brilliant catch. So we're just going to quickly watch this moment. And I think, especially we have both youngsters who, on the field have been absolutely brilliant, Ritvik and Ishan, and, taking that catch, taking the innings on. So now we'll get into the action, especially for this weekend. We're playing the NJ Stallions twice. This too at, both of yours, grounds, Veterans Memorial. So I know that ground is definitely close to both of you. But, when we look at this game, the Stallions are at the top of the table right now. They've won 4 games and lost 1 recently against Manhattan Yorkers. So when it comes to this game, what do you think the team's approach should be? And also keeping in mind that we're literally playing them and then we're playing them back to back. So I don't know, if that honestly is really a hindrance because with the schedule, because it's, playing a team and then playing them again. Not too sure, so I want to hear from you guys, what your opinion on is in this game. So, Shoaib, if you want to start.
Sure, I'll take a lead on this one. Yes, let me give you the biggest kept secret on this program. Play at veteran is very simple, very simple. You need to keep the ball at the right areas because that field is lightning quick. You cannot, as a bowler, make a mistake. It's a flat wicket. It will give you enough for the pacers to start with, but the spinners will come very, very handy. So I think the management needs to think about it, that and again, they are going against a very, very strong side, just like Cavaliers. New Jersey Stallion is also a loaded side with names like John Ross Campbell, who played for us for Titans this year. Then you have Dominic Ricky there. Jesse Singh played for them. Is also part of Titan this year. So we know these players. The good thing is it's not like our team DC Hawk doesn't know who we are playing. The thing is we just have to play smart cricket, come with a good game plan, and make sure that we handle their top order with some smart bowling and smart field placement. Because at veterans, there's a very less margin of error because the outfield is so lightning quick, and the batsmen will get to play their shot. They don't have to play aggressively because they will get the value for their shots, whatever they will play. So, team has to be very, very smart about it. The good thing is, which from what I've noticed is, unfortunately, Adil Bhatti got injured, so Nasir Islam, he is coming in the side. Nasir might be up in the age, but he is a very, very smart bowler. He has played on that ground for a long time. He knows that ground, and he can spin the ball. He's a very smart bowler, and he will also give you something in the batting, which the team is lacking in the middle order. So I think that's a very good addition to the team. So hopefully things will click. These are back-to-back games. So I think first game is very important because if you win that game, it puts not only physical pressure on the second game to the opposition, but it also puts mental pressure on the opposition because it'll be scorching hot, 90 some degrees. So I think it's a very good game for us to win, especially the first one. We play smartly. Even if we make mistake in the first one, you can learn quickly from your mistake because not very often you get your second opportunity. So you got to go try to win both of them. If not, split them and move on to the next day because you have 3 games in 2 days.
Yep. And Saqib, if you want to add on to this game.
So as far as the veterans field, we all know about that field. I mean, I don't want to give the secrets away. Rajit Bhai knows. I don't know who else is going to watch it. So toss is going to be crucial on that field. It's a lightning fast. I agree with Shoaib Bhai.
And just to briefly stop you, we also have to keep in mind Sunny has lost a toss 4 times in a row.
Yeah, so
Sunny needs to bring that coin for the Shoaib movie so he can win this time.
So because on the veteran field, toss does matter because the reason for that, it's a lightning fast field, no doubt. But if you see the weather, it was raining yesterday. We have a hot, humid weather right now, but usually on that, they get moisture, and if the sprinkle comes on the Friday night, you will see the moisture which gets dry. No doubt about that, but it takes time. So the field coming from the first inning to the second inning gets more faster. So toss does matter because the moisture on the wicket will let the ball goes a little bit low. And the second thing, the crucial part, I don't know was that playing 11 for the DC Hawks, but as far as the spinner, Ladda, Ravi, Abdul Jabbar, and Nasir Islam, they're gonna play a crucial part on their bowling side, and hopefully they will bring this game to home. And if I say on the other side to look after, I would say there are 3 players in their team. I think Dominic Ricky. There's another guy. He plays in the lower order. Stephen. I was checking. Yeah. I was watching his inning, and the John Ross Campbell, of course.
Yeah.
Because if you take those big 3 guns, team morally goes down. So you have to target their big guns. If you get them easily, quickly, and they give away the wicket, 95% you in the game. It's not like those other 8 players not gonna come and play, but that's mentally you already there. You got that game in your hands.
Yeah, and even, looking at the Stallions, all the games that they've played, the ones that you mentioned, like, those have been, like, the top, run scorers and the top wicket takers and everything. So it's really important, especially to get them out, because I think their situation is also kind of similar, where we have our top order that's been scoring on the runs. They have the same thing. When it's gone down, they haven't had many, batsmen who've been able to step up. But speaking about batsmen, needing to step up, who do you think, at veterans, will either need to step up, or you'll see a good performance from them in terms of the batting? So, I'll let Saqib answer that first.
I mean, Sunny and after Ravi, in that I would say that the player needs to step up and they need to be defined with their role. Is Walid Karimullah. He's a really up-order batsman. By saying Adil Bhatti is gone, so adding a Nasir Islam. With coming Nasir Islam, you have so many options. as a bowler, as a high aggressive batsman, or he is a versatile batsman. He can play all around the shots and he can put pressure on the other team. But Walid Karimullah, I would say that guy needs to get his role in and step up on the game. Clement needs to anchor more inning, but by the time he comes in, it's already leftover overs. And
Yeah.
there's one more person which hasn't got the chance yet. I want to see him coming in. Hopefully, this game or maybe next game is Talal Zia,
Yeah.
because 2020 is all about attacking with the right approach. So if you have a player who can attack and rotate, that's the big positive point for the DC Hawks.
Okay. And Shoaib, if you like to add, who you
Yeah,
think.
yeah, I'll start. I mean, your usual suspect. I mean, of course, team. We have noticed Sunny and Ravi, they have to be the backbone of the batting. They need to get as many overs as possible because T20, your best batsman needs to see as many overs as possible. Franklin's playing good. I mean, I think he can always accelerate anytime he wants. And I agree with Saqib. I think Talal is one guy. I don't know why he's not playing. Maybe injury or whatever the reasons are. But I think he needs to be in the side and he needs to go top of the order because he's a very good batsman. Who can score runs. I mean, he can anchor the inning. So he's one of the players I think for some reason is missing out. But I don't know the reasons are. But I think management needs to look into it. And
Yeah.
Dane Peed is he has played at the highest level. I think he's somebody needs to be uh, take more responsibility in the team and make sure that he takes because he's a veteran in the team. I mean, he's played at the highest level. So those are your guys. I mean, you can't expect numbers 8, 9, and 10 to go ahead and score a lot of runs.
Yeah.
I think it starts with the top order in top 5, 6, and I think that's where they need to get it corrected and see who our top 5 or 6 batsmen are, and then go
Yeah.
from there. So luckily, this team has a good all-rounder. So it's not like we can go batting heavy or the bowling heavy. I mean, it can be a very good balance. But
Yeah.
Nasir Islam will be a good addition because he can always go for quick cameo, like you mentioned. I mean, he likes to score runs quickly, especially in 220. And again,
Yeah.
playing at veterans, people don't have to rush things up. The runs will come, and you'll get a lot of boundaries there. I mean, you can as long as you beat the fielder, the ball is gone to the ropes.
Absolutely. And obviously our third game, so that's Sunday. So it's just the team is gonna have to, right after their second game, travel back to Exton, which is where we had our games over the past weekend, and we're playing the New England Eagles again. So we're gonna be facing them again. We already lost against them. So obviously now the players are more experienced in terms of, going up against their bowling. So I think that really, helps since we're playing them again, and obviously knowing that we have a loss as well against them. So if you guys want to add, Saqib, if you want to add to this.
I mean, the game we lost against New England Eagles was the game to win. I mean, I would say again, Ladda took 5 wickets. He did his part. So bowling department basically closed them out easily on
Hmm.
146. And for in 2020, 146 is an easy chaseable score.
Yeah.
But again, the batting line of flop, and the reason if your top order is flopping, your middle order cannot contribute in that one. So the only scorer I think was
With
Bhatti, and
Adil, yeah,
he scored some 30 odd runs, and then Dan
yeah,
beat 24. So we couldn't see a consistent partnership. Like if we would have one more partnership for 25, 30 runs, we could have
hmm,
easily won this game. So players and all these batsmen, I mean, they've been playing so long. It's like I can't coach them. I mean, they know what they're doing on the field. It's easy to say off the field, but they need to put some time on their inning. And one wicket, one partnership can turn around the game easily. And it's 2020. I mean, people say it's a fast game, but again, it's 120 balls. All you have to focus on 20 balls. If you score 20 boundaries in those 20 balls, that's 80 runs right there. So build your inning. Don't rush it. It doesn't matter wherever you're playing. It's either in Pennsylvania or Philadelphia or in Woodbridge, Virginia. So build your inning and put a lower order, and the middle order needs to step up and chip in with the runs, because top order has been doing enough for the team so far.
absolutely. And Shoaib, if you want to add in.
Sure. I've been lucky enough to sit next to Robin Singh, who's been the US coach and Mumbai Indian coach. So he always told me one thing. He said, Shoaib, whenever you're playing 2020, the team batting should not be in first power play, 6 overs should be at least 40 runs. Typically, you'll say 40 runs, no wicket down. But if there are 40 runs and 1 wicket down, that's a good start. Anything more than that is perfect. So that's where it all starts. So we need to get a good start, keep the wickets in hand, score runs. Now, good thing is we have played on this ground, so we know what the tendencies are, how the wicket's going to behave, how the ground behave, how the outfield is and all those things. So that comes handy because playing first time always makes a difference. So this is where we have advantage against New Jersey, them coming here, but we have also have advantage going next day there because we know that ground now. Now that again, we have to start well and put some scores on the board. They have a good team. Akshay Hamraj and Fidadeen. It's a very good player. I honestly think that why he's coming so much down the order. I mean, he's coming 5-6, which good for us. He's a very good batter. He can actually go top the order and score a lot of runs. So we know this lot of players there, and I think we can also we have talent there with the spin attack to go ahead and control those players, especially in the middle part of the inning or towards the end. So knowing the conditions will be a plus. Of course, playing back to back on the first day and then travel is a disadvantage to the team. But hey, you got to deal with the cards you are dealt with. So there's no excuse. You got to come up. That's why you have roster of 16, 18 players. You go and play and try to win as many games.
Now, before we sign off on this pre-show, was there anything else you guys wanted to add in terms of, anything related to the DC Hawks or anything else that you wanted to add in for the coming games this weekend?
Okay, I'll take a lead on this one too. Listen, it's very. I think team is right there. It's 2-2. It's early part of the tournament. Of course, the team is gelling. The management. I might be a little critical about their performance against the Somerset Cavalier, but hey, as a fan of the team, a DC residents and a local team, I'll wish them well. I want them to perform well, but I think there are things that can be corrected, and it can be corrected very soon. It's early on. We are right there because the best. Like you said, they are 4-1, being the best record. We are 2-2, so technically we are only 1.5 game behind. And if we beat them back to back, so it's in front of us, nothing behind us. Team needs to focus. People need to realize what their roles are. Management needs to back them up, and let's just go out and win some games.
Absolutely. Anything else that you want to add, Saqib?
Yeah, so even though if you win, you lose, I'm always rooting for DC Hawks. I am a big supporter. I will always support you guys. Season is still open. Give your best. Try your hard. You guys are young and with a really good combination. On paper, people see no big names, but this is one of the best combination we have it because every player have been playing together forever.
Yeah.
Second thing, the management part, do tell the role for every player. And the plus point with this tournament that we have highlights for every game. Mark every single player of the rivalry team. Like just if Dominic is coming in, watch his game, watch his footwork, watch where is he lacking, what is weakness. So these are the things. If the management mark every single batsman or bowler, that would be easy for the game or for the players to come in, and they would know what's their role and how they're gonna get those wickets easily and cheaply.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I want to thank you both for joining our pre-show.
Thank you, Roshni.
Thank you, Roshni, and it was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.